what's up, boys? Jimmy had an emergency. He had to run, so they asked me 20 minutes ago to host Betting with the Bag for the day. We got Maxwell Smart in the co-pilot seat for college basketball for the hour, and we're going to get through it. So quickly, I just wanted to go over the picks that Jimmy threw out on Twitter so you guys know. He's on the Islanders money line minus 130. He's on low bag picks. Islanders -1 plus 140. The money line minus 125, and the puck line -1.5 at plus 215. He's on the San Jose under 6 at plus 105 from Heritage. And as far as hockey, I think that's it. NBA, he's on the Brooklyn Nets under 217 and a half at Heritage. And he's on the Pistons -4.5 at Bet Online. Those are the picks that I see that Jimmy threw out on Twitter. So we're going to bring Max in for the hour. We'll cover football and tonight's game on Live Line after this show. So we're just going to focus on college basketball and let Max do his thing for the hour. So welcome in, boys. Ragu, Brooklyn Funk Project, David Morrissey, Eric, everybody. I'll be taking your questions, man. Anything that you guys want to throw at Max, I'm going to try to copy and paste like Jimmy does. After Max gives out his plays, I'll try to hit up as many as I see. Quickly, I wrote the national article for the Sporting News. Every sharp is going to be taking the Rams because, people think the spot warrants it. I'm not stepping in front of that train. I think that the Ravens are the best team in the AFC right now. It's hard to give it to the Patriots when the Patriots got stomped by them a few weeks ago. So I'm not sure if I'm going to take the Ravens now that it's +3.5. I might. We'll figure it out on the show. But it's possible. But I just can't. I'm definitely not taking the Rams because they looked dreadful against the Bears last week. They were lucky to get that win. And I'm just not stepping in front of that train, man, because they look wicked. So, all right. So let's bring Maxwell Smart on for me, Rafa. What's up, Maxie, baby? You're on mute, bro.
Obviously, I'm really happy to be here. Obviously, missing Jimmy the Bag. It definitely doesn't feel the same, but we're going to try and give you as much info, as much games in a fast way. So first off, let's just throw a little salute over to our main man, Noli Knows, who got Jimmy on the under in the Loyola game. And it wasn't looking that good after the first half, but you know what? It came through, it hit by more than 5 points to the under. And just want to throw out a shout out to Noli and to Jimmy for cashing on that game. Good job, boys.
Yeah.
All right. So
Noli's a beast. He makes unders great again. Quickly, I just want to throw up your records. The official record for you right now is, Rafa, throw it up there. What do we got? 129 and 110, 54%. You're up a little under 10 units on the year, 3.87 ROI. That's not bad, Max. I know you're hard on yourself and you kill yourself constantly, but that's not bad for the first 3 weeks of college basketball. Play of the day record. What do we got, Rafa? 5 and 9. All right. So you're just really shitty at picking one play. That's all. That's all we know so far. But all right, Maxwell. Let's start with the plays that you've already given out and you've posted on Twitter. I'll try to give you the latest lines that I see like Jimmy does. So where would you like to begin?
All right. So let's start off with what we've already done so far today. Today's been a really crappy day so far. Hopefully we're going to pick it up with the night slate. I'm actually 2-6 right now. Probably not hard to believe, but it is quite displeasing to come on with that record so far. So the first game is about to tip off if it hasn't already done so, and that is Loyola, Maryland over 139 at minus 105. This was a spot where I'm looking at Loyola, Maryland, and I'm seeing a team led by Andrew Kostecka. Obviously, Andrew Kostecka's not having the 3-point success that he's had last year, but defensively on the ball, he's creating steals, forcing turnovers, getting in transition, getting to the bucket, either scoring or getting to the free throw line. And that's the kind of guy that you want when you're betting on an over. You want a guy that can take over the game, which he does. There's nobody that averages more than double digits on the team except Kostecka, but you do have some decent, solid pieces in Jalen Andrews and Brent Holcomb. And I think that tonight Loyola Maryland's going to definitely be able to score with this IUPUI team, because what have we seen from IUPUI? Well, they're capable of coming to play. They're capable of scoring the basketball. Marcus Burke, the Campbell transfer, how mad is Campbell now that they've seen him play and score like this, that he isn't starting in a lead role for them? So I think that this game is going to hopefully have a lot of 3-point makes, a lot of transition buckets, and defense that leads to points. When I look at this number and I look at Patriot League teams, if I see something under 140, it's almost an instant bet. So this was a play that I thought stood out on the card. Another play that I thought that stood out was actually the Arkansas under. That was probably one of my favorite plays of the day. I think that Arkansas has definitely shown us that while they can play fantastic 3-point defense, the 3-point shot really isn't falling that much. I don't think that they are going to be in a game tonight against Georgia Tech with Jose Alvarado, who's coming back from an injury. I think that we're going to have an advantage there. I think that the fact that Arkansas through 5 games is only allowing 47 points, obviously you take that with an asterisk because of who they played. But when you look through, we're talking about Rice, we're talking about North Texas, we're talking about Montana, Texas Southern, South Dakota. So no one scored more than 58 points against them. And I think that Georgia Tech is definitely going to oblige that type of game. Look, when they get into a game where it's high scoring, it's an ass clencher. They had an ass clencher against NC State. They had an ass clencher against University of Georgia with that crazy shot by Michael DeVoe. I won't bring it up because it obviously brings bad memories to people. But this is a game where I just see a slow pace. I see James Banks III dominating the rim, protecting the rim, staying on the floor, hopefully. And as far as other scores for Georgia Tech, Bubba Parham, the VMI transfer who averaged 20 points a game at VMI, isn't averaging even anywhere close to that. And when Georgia Tech struggles at the free throw line, shooting 62%, this is a game that screamed under. And I'm going to keep on riding these Arkansas unders along with a lot of other highly respectable college basketball cappers that we all know and love.
All right, I just wanted to stop between every game, because what was the number that you actually got it at, Max? I know you kill line moves.
Yeah, the Arkansas game I got at 139.
Okay, the best number that I see right now, Pinnacle's 137.5. Do you endorse that, or has the ship sailed on that?
I don't think that the ship sailed, to be quite frank. I think that this is definitely a really nice spot for Arkansas tonight. I think that I don't know. I just don't see them wanting to get into a run-and-gun game. They have the personnel to do so. I just don't think that they're going to. So the way that I play it is under. I think that at 137, you still have a little bit of wiggle room based on my lines, and okay. I would endorse it.
All right, sweet. All right, hit me with the next one.
Okay, so the next one, we've already talked about Loyola, Maryland. That's at 139, and that's already off the board, I believe. You'll have to double check that for me, Jay. And my next pick, Sorry about that, boys. One that's already ongoing is Weber State +9 at -110. Right now, the score in that game is 39-23 at the half, so obviously it's not looking good, and we're going to need a little bit of help on that game. My next game that hasn't started is the Butler first half and Butler full game. I got Butler first half at +0.5 point at -115 and Butler full game at +1 -102. Line shopping obviously is how I got those numbers, and I think that this Butler team definitely has matchup advantages versus this guard-oriented lineup of Missouri. I've talked a lot about Drew Smith and how I really like him as an Evansville transfer coming over, and I think that tonight they're going to give Butler a tough game. I just think that in the end, Butler's going to be able to put that work in. I think that when you have a healthy Kamar Baldwin, you have a guy that is definitely able to freaking score a couple points for you. And he's going to be able to play defense on the other team's best perimeter scorer. I think that Butler has to be able to hit free throws in this game against Missouri. I think it's going to be a game that comes down to the end. And this is a team that's one of their main disadvantages. I think at the three-point line, Butler's going to have their success leading with Sean McDermott. I think that that's going to be the key offensively for Butler if they're going to want to beat this Mizzou team. Mizzou's definitely going to want to try and shut you down at the three-point line. That is also their defensive specialty. So it's going to be Yang versus Yang, and I'm taking Yang over Yang. So give me Butler first half and full game, please.
All right, Butler first half right now, +0.5 point, and full game +1. What did you get them at one more time?
That's what I got them at.
All right, sweet.
But
all right, good. So
my juice was -102, and my juice was -115 on the first half.
All right, so all the value is still there. All right, go ahead. Hit me with the next one.
All right, so the next game is going to be this Tennessee State game. So I first off got this line at I got it at +19 -115. Saw the line moving. Knew that I already had a feel towards it. San Diego State's a real impressive team. We know what they can do offensively. We know that they have Matt Mitchell coming off the bench, and that's just like having another starter that you can bring in when some guy's tired. I think that tonight we're going to see Wesley Harris have a nice game for Tennessee State. I think he's going to be able to get his shot off. I look for this Tennessee State team to be stingy, They had a really nice game against Texas Tech in the first half. And I think that the best way that they can do that is to slow the pace down, limit possessions against San Diego State, and not let them go on some of these 7 or 8-0 runs that we've seen them go on. Shutting down Jordan Shackle from the three-point line is a must in every game because he'll launch up 10 or 11 of them, and if he's hitting 50 or 60%, he's going to be the difference in whether you cover or not. I think that I got enough faith in this team, especially when it comes to San Diego State's poor free throw shooting. And if it comes down to fouling at the end when they're trying to make a cover or not, I have a lot of faith that Tennessee State can stay within this number. There was a part of me that definitely thought that San Diego State would just blast these guys by 30 points. But something about it just makes me think that they're going to take their foot off the gas, maybe sub in some other guys because this is a low major opponent, and maybe we can get a backdoor cover.
Well, the market agrees with you, Max, because right now that line is Tennessee State +18. So the best line I see on the board right now is +18 at -107. Do you endorse that?
Yeah, it's an official play, so it's been bet.
No, it's an official play at +19. I know, but I'm talking about +18. Was there still wiggle room, or was the cutoff at 19?
I had the line J at 22.5. So I had enough value that it was worth a play. So at 18.5 and 18, it's really hit or miss right now. We could get hooked, but we could not. It could be an easy freaking beat. I don't know.
All right, hit me with the next one.
Okay, so the next one is going to be, we're going to actually start from some neutral court games. Well, most of them are neutral court tonight. So we got Bowling Green and we got Nevada. This line is actually flipped since about noon today when I bet this game, or 11 o'clock. I think that Nevada definitely has shown Jalen Harris is healthy. Jalen Harris was the missing piece to go with Lindsey Drew and to go with Jazz Johnson. With Lindsey Drew and Jazz Johnson, you got 37 points a game. You got a bunch of three-point makes a game that you can rely on, and you got a solid, experienced backcourt. Then you have to look at what Jalen Harris brings to this lineup. And Jalen Harris brings to this lineup what Cody Martin and Caleb Martin did in a sense. He's going to play good defense. He's long. He's athletic. He can get to the rim. He can shoot free throws. And you know what? He's dominated in the last two games for Nevada. There's no reason to think that they don't want to win this championship and let the Wolfpack frickin' roar. So this is going to be a tough game for them. I'm not going to give it to them easy. That's for sure. I think that Nevada is definitely going to have some challenges with Justin Turner, but we have to definitely shut down Dylan Fry. Dylan Fry's coming off almost a career game, I believe, yesterday. And this Nevada team has to stop Bowling Green from going on runs. That's what they did yesterday. That's what they've done so far in the season in every game that I watched. That's how they got back in that Cincinnati game. So I'm looking for Jalen Harris to be key on Justin Turner. I'm looking for Jazz Johnson in a combination of him and Lindsey Drew to try and shut down Dylan Fry. And then it's just going to be really about which front court comes to play. And I got more faith in guys like John Carlos Reyes and Robbie Robinson than I do in a guy like Taylor Matos, who I only watched for about 2 or 3 games. I think that there's an advantage at the free throw line for Bowling Green. I'll say that. But the three-point shooting and the perimeter shooting from Nevada is going to be the difference in this game, and I think that they bring home the championship. I can't say that I advise jumping on this line, but I actually am just getting an update right now. Justin Turner will not be playing tonight. He has a hamstring injury, and that is the reason why this line has flipped. Even though the line is at 3 right now, I still think Nevada wins and covers. Without Justin Turner in the lineup, that's a big loss. So I still endorse it at 3.
You got that line at what? The best line I see
Plus
for anybody
2,
looking
minus
at back Nevada.
105.
Yeah, I see minus 2.0, minus 2.5 at minus 115 right now is the best line I see. Okay,
yeah,
well,
I still think it's a good one.
I guess people will have to decide whether or not that loss is big enough. So, all right, let's hit me with the next one. What's the next game?
Okay, so the next game is going to be, sorry, I accidentally switched screens. All right, so the next game is going to be Pitt. Pitt is going into Kansas State. I think that we're just waiting for this Pitt team to really take off. I think that with guys like Xavier Johnson, with guys like Trey McGowan's, you got solid scoring pieces that you could depend on. And this Kansas State team, although some people are a little more enamored and impressed with how Carter Diarra has started to play, I'm not one of them, I expect a lot more from this Kansas State team, and I don't think that I'm getting it right now. I did have a lean towards the over, and at 117, I guess that's all right. I'd be thinking that there's going to be points in this game. I think that there's going to be a reversal of fortunes, because you have to remember both these teams are 2-8 combined to the under in games that they played this year. But when it comes to games that are lined in this 120 to 129.5 range, Kansas State's gone over once and Pitt's gone under once. So really don't have any sufficient data to back that up. But I see that Pitt's going to be able to hopefully push the tempo against Kansas State. That's going to benefit them, because if they get into a rock fight with Kansas State and have to depend on making late plays at the end of the game, I don't think that they're covering. I don't think it's going to turn out good for them. I think it may turn into a rout just like the West Virginia game did. So as far as I'm concerned, Pitt's the spot for me. I like Pitt when it comes to what kind of perimeter defense they can play. Obviously, the shooting has to improve, but with the kind of talent that they have in their lineup, it's just a matter of time before someone like Ryan Murphy jumps off, or Justin Champagne. So Pitt +4 is what I got them at. If you get them at under 3, I would still endorse it. But for the official show record keeping purposes, I have +4.
Yeah, you can get Pittsburgh +3 at Bovada right now, -110. Our boy Viper MB wants to know if I kidnapped Jimmy the Bag. I did not. He had an emergency, and they asked me like a half an hour ago to cover for him, and here we are. So, all right, Maxwell, hit me with the next one.
All right, so well, I just want to let you guys know Valparaiso's up 11-4 right now, and we got 29 points through 6 minutes and 30 seconds in the Loyola Maryland game. That may be a little slow. My feed is not updating quickly. It must be that Canadian internet, communist internet, as Aunt Larson would say. But my next play is going to be on Lipscomb. Listen, we got a winner with Lipscomb the other night against Navy. Hassan Asadullah is definitely the type of player that you can revolve your offense around. He's going to get on the glass. He's going to run the floor. He has good size. He can play defense, and he can score in a multitude of different ways. I think that it's going to obviously come down to what kind of production you get from the Lipscomb guards. And at 3.5 points, I think that this is a reasonable spread for us to be betting Lipscomb on the road. They didn't have a letdown effect after the Belmont loss. They went on the road, took care of business against Navy. And we have to also keep in mind that this team has played to the unders this year, and so is Tennessee Tech. Both these teams are playing to the unders at 2-8-1 so far this season. And when we're talking about a low total like this, definitely gives me a little pause, because this isn't a position that Lipscomb's played in very often, even though they are 0-1 in this situation this year. And it'd be making me look towards an over. But as far as a side, Lipscomb had to be the side for me. I don't trust guys like Junior Clay on Tennessee Tech. Hunter Vick does not inspire me. We've had a point guard change for this team. Keyshawn Davidson is now the point guard. Junior Clay, with his poor shooting and his poor decision-making, has gotten him a seat on the bench. I look for Lipscomb to dominate with the front court with Parker Hazen. I look for KJ Johnson to get off tonight again, coming off a really nice 18-point, 8 for 13 shooting game. And this Tennessee Tech team, yeah, they can shoot free throws better than Lipscomb. They shoot about the same 3-point, shoot close to the same field goal range. It just isn't a team that flashes me as someone that is going to be able to play against what Hassan Asadullah is going to do in the paint. I think as long as he stays out of foul trouble, Lipscomb's going to cover the 3.5 points easily. And if you can get a better number on it, I would still endorse taking it.
All right, just to go back for a second, I know you said that you had a lean on the Pittsburgh over. JW wants to know, Max, are you making a play on that?
I'm not making a play on it yet. I'm actually not making a play on it. It was only a lean. The game starts in 3 minutes. I'm not going to rush to the window on it. I think that there's going to be other spots that we can do a little better on with less line movement in the way that we want to take it.
Okay, sounds good. All right, hit me with the next one.
All right, so let's actually just jump to an addition right now, if you don't mind me jumping out of order. We have a game going off at 6:30. Rotation number 768, Kent State in Ohio State. I took the under 132 on this game. You could still get them. It's going down right now. There's a 131, and there's a juiced under 132 at BetCris. But this is a game that I urge you guys, if you're looking to get on the under and you had a lean towards it, I'd jump on it right now. This is a game that I think that definitely is going to be Ohio State type of pace. I think that Antonio Williams, for Kent State's best advantage, is to dominate the shot clock. I think that you really have to limit possessions against Ohio State because Ohio State is so balanced. They have 4 or 5 guys in the backcourt that can take you to school. And of course, they got Caleb Wesson in the middle. So Philip Whittington's going to have his hands full. So it's going to be really important for Kent State to score. And this could be a game that Kent State gets blown out or they stay really close, keeping it ugly. I think personally that Ohio State probably smacks them and knocks them out. I'd be looking, I want to pull up the number first just to make sure that I have it correct. I'd be looking at Ohio State in the first half on the spread. Jay, would you be able to look up a number for me, please?
Yeah. So you're not looking to bet that total then?
I'm looking to bet that total, but I also want you to look up the first half while I jump to the total. So
okay,
with Ohio State's defense,
I got it.
Okay, with Ohio State's defense,
first half line. Sorry, best first half line is depending on who you want to take. Ohio State best line I see is 9.5 minus 110 at bookmaker. If you're looking for Kent State, it's plus 10 minus 110 at Intertops.
Okay, so my lean would be to Ohio State in the first half, and I'd be looking to take the 9.5. I know it's a big number, but we're talking about a team that plays great lockdown defense. First off, Kent State wants to shoot the three. They want to shoot they want to make 9 to 10 of them a game, like most three-point oriented teams. Well, I don't think that they're going to have that kind of success like they've had so far this season against Ohio State's perimeter defense. Plus, they want to get to the line a lot. They want to get to the line 20 times a game. I don't think that Ohio State's going to oblige them to that with the pace that they want to play. It's just going to be a matter about Ohio State controlling the pace, and I would be taking the under. So I want to make an official play on the under. If you can get me 131 right now, Jay, if it's still there. No, it is not. Under 130 and a half at minus 110 is the best number.
Yes. Do you want that at bookmaker, 130 and a half minus 110?
Well, hold on. I don't think we use my bookie lines, do we?
Because I see it
132
I don't think I ever hear Jimmy say that.
No, I don't think so either. Okay, we'll just stick with the bookmaker line. We'll go with the under 130 and a half, minus 110. Can you write that down as an official pick?
Yes. Now, Ohio State first half, minus 9.5 at 110 at bookmaker. Is that also an official pick?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right, brother. Go ahead.
Okay, so that's it for the Ohio State game. We're going to double up. Hopefully we're going to have my cap work out in our favor. And I always say, if you really feel strongly about a total and you can sell a couple points on it, I would do that. This probably isn't the type of game that I would do it, but the Arkansas game could have been one of those games, and we still see this number going down. I see it anywhere from 135 and a half to 136 and a half. All right, so moving on to my next pick, and I'll start to speed it up for you guys. Murray State -6 is what I got them at. I do think that the line has moved.
Are these all additions moving forward now?
Yeah, these are back to the these are back to my Twitter page. Twitter page.
Okay.
All right, so we got Murray State tonight going up against LaSalle. The line right now is 6.5. So this is a line that you can still get on. If you're at $5, you can get -107 on the juice. That's the best price that I see right now. I just look at this Murray State team as head and shoulders better than LaSalle. I'm also looking for a win against LaSalle. A lot of people are going to look at this game, and if they're not being careful, they're going to think that LaSalle's at home tonight. LaSalle is not at home. This is a neutral court game. I look for LaSalle and Murray State to play a low-scoring, low-tempo game where Murray State's defense dominates. This is a Murray State team, obviously losing John Morant, still has Tevin Brown, and this is a team that is dominant in the first half. This is a team that I expect to win the first half, and I expect them to cover the full game. You got to score. That's what Murray State does. They're able to shoot 43% from the field, 73% from the line. They do a decent job on the glass. They're going to have to against LaSalle tonight because that's one of their weaknesses. Offensive rebounding has to be a priority. And I think you got to improve that assist-to-turnover ratio. It's obviously you got multitude of different guys handling the ball for Murray State. But with this Racer team, I just see an advantage with the front court and with Tevin Brown. When you have Anthony Smith and KJ Williams both averaging close to 8 rebounds and north of 10 or 11 points a game, that's something that is good for an under. That's something that's good to frustrate a team like LaSalle, who's going to have trouble scoring the basketball up against Murray State's pressure. This was a spot that I just had to get on. I'm not sold on the type of team LaSalle has going right now. I think that we saw them play a lot better at times without Pookie Smith, but now without him full time, we're seeing the true colors of this team, and I think Murray State romps them.
Sweet. How many more before you want to start the additions?
There's still a couple more. There's still 4.
All right, man. Go ahead.
5, 6. Yeah, okay. So the next
we
one
still have
is
40
Oakland
minutes,
plus
so
4.5.
you're good.
So Oakland's going to be playing Northern Illinois. This is going to be a game where we're going to have to see Oakland's front court with Kevin Kangu and Trey Maddox contribute offensively and Xavier Hill-Mays to pick up the production. Obviously, it's been a disappointing season for him so far this year. I look for that to improve tonight. And I think that we're going to be able to get a team in Northern Illinois that may be being a little overvalued right now. Listen, they didn't cover in their game against SIU Edwardsville. They didn't cover in the game against Western Illinois University. And now they're laying points again against Oakland. Oakland's coming off a really good home opener that they were dominant against Hartford, a 10-point win, a cover, and an under. I'm looking at this game seeing that Eugene Germain is the guy that has to score for him, and if you can shut him down, you can beat this team. I look for Oakland to stay in this game. I look for Oakland to possibly win this game outright, and it's all completely dependent on what you get out of the backcourt from Oakland. If you get a decent performance out of them, I think that they're winning tonight, and I think that they're covering the 4.5, and I'm completely confident with that play, even though the free throw shooting and the three-point shooting has been pretty off.
All right, let's pause this for a minute. Anybody that is familiar with the Sports Keg over the last 10 months on the other channel we used to be on, and now since SBR picked up Liveline, knows that I rock the backwards fitted, and that you rock the front snapback. So Prince of the City would like this show to halt to a stop, and everybody in this chat would like you to put a hat on, bro. I mean, don't come correct. Come on.
Put a hat.
I mean, what are we doing? What do we? Yeah, everybody wants to know where the hat is. I mean, what are we running here?
Well, my hair's growing back, so I decided to just have hair.
Nobody wants to
Some
see
of us
that
have
hair. Everybody wants to see the hat, bro.
All right. I'm putting on the Syracuse hat. Keep it Canadian. Represent Quincy Greer, fellow Canadian, rocking over at freaking Syracuse this year.
Amateur hour?
Yeah, let's go. I got the hat on now. You don't have to look at my goddamn forehead.
All right, moving on. Go ahead.
Okay, so moving on to the next play. We just talked about Oakland. We're going to talk about Bradley. So this is a team where I've had a little bit of trouble getting on the right side of in a game or two already this season, and I'm looking to get right with them. And I think that tonight they're going up against Northwestern. This is a rivalry game. This is an in-state game. I look for Bradley to really want to show Big Brother, who's having a down year, that, listen, we got some goddamn talent on this team. And it starts in the middle with the big man Koch Barr. This is a guy that I wish I was as tall as. I never will be. And if I tried to punch him in the face, I'd probably only reach his kneecap. But he is really improved, and he's solid on the defensive glass. And if you give him the ball, he's going to score for you. I think that when you have Elijah Childs and Darryl Brown, you have a solid foundation. It's just about getting off to a good start and really putting a freaking end to this Ryan Young freaking expose that he's been putting on the last couple games. Obviously, Ryan Young in the middle, averaging 11.5 and 7.5 rebounds. He's someone you're going to have to contain. But this is a team of Northwestern guys that I think really have an opportunity to have a different guy stand out each night. This is the team with no major alpha dog. And I just hope that Bradley takes them seriously enough and just puts foot to the metal, foot on the throat, and just goes hard for 40 minutes, because we've seen Bradley struggle with playing 40 minutes. I think you really got to stop any kind of three-point shooting from Northwestern. If you give them the confidence, they have a couple guys that can hit some three-point shots, you got to keep them off the free throw line. When you got a guy like Anthony Gaines and Pete Nance and Miller Kopp all hitting above 80%, that's someone that you just don't want to freaking mess with when it comes to the end of game situation. When I'm looking at Bradley also, I think that there's also a significant advantage for them in the first half. I think that with a small number like this, if you can get under 2, I would advocate taking it. I'm not going to make it an official pick for the show and for the record, but it's definitely something that I'll be laying. And I think it's a great play because Bradley definitely is still not being respected enough, even though they did make it to the tournament and give Michigan State all they can handle. So Bradley is definitely a strong play for me tonight.
Okay. Keep going. Run through your Twitter stuff, then we'll get to the additions.
All right. So the next one is Stanford and Oklahoma. Stanford definitely. I think that on a neutral court, West Coast setting, there's an advantage for them. I think that Stanford has shown offensively, especially in that William and Mary game, that they can play against a team with size. They can play against a team that's guard-oriented. They showed that in the game against Long Beach State. And I think that they've taken these games seriously, and they're looking to win. They're looking to get some respect. And I think that with the common opponent being William and Mary, seeing the shooting differences and the defensive differences that were shown in that game, this is the spot where I think that Stanford may be undervalued, and I think that we're getting a good number on them. I think that obviously you need Oscar Da Silva and guys like Dejon Davis to be healthy enough to contribute, and I always worry about some of the guys on Oklahoma. I fear Devion Harmon. He's a great freshman, got his way into the starting lineup, and Austin Reeves, the I believe it's Penn State transfer. So this is a hard game for me to get on the money line, but if you want to give me 4.5 points on a neutral court, with the way that Stanford shooting the 3 at 43% and 52% from the field, I'm good with that.
Sweet. What's next?
All right, so we'll move on to BYU. I got BYU at plus 1.5, minus 110. This is a spot where I just think that the line's flipped in the wrong way. This is what happened in the last game for UCLA versus Hofstra, and we saw what happened in that game. Hofstra was able to win outright. So for UCLA, obviously they're changing the guard with Mick Cronin, really changing the system. A lot of guys obviously departed the roster that could have played for longer. That's given an ability for guys like Cody Ryland and Jalen Hill to step up. I look for them to be pretty dominant tonight, but the winning part for me in this game is Burham Young's guard play. When you can get me Jake Toolson and TJ Haws, I'm down with that. Listen, I don't like the free throw shooting for BYU. I think that that's probably their only offensive Achilles heel, but their 25% three-point defense is very appealing. I look at this BYU team as a team that definitely has the ability to be very fast or play slow. They can play whatever pace they want. It's just a matter of them hitting threes. And when you have 3 guys that can hit a lot of threes in Alex Barcello, the Arizona transfer, Connor Harding, and Jake Toolson, you would think TJ Haws would also be, but he's not. I think that this is a game where the line is just flipped the other way because of public perception about UCLA. I think that BYU goes in, wins this game, unlike they were able to do against Boise State.
All right, we have about a half an hour left. How many more plays you got left before we start doing additions?
2 more plays that haven't started.
Okay, go ahead.
So the next play is Green Bay, Cal Sun, Northridge. It's a pretty simple play. Cal Northridge doesn't like to play defense. If they're not having a three-point shooting performance like they did against Colgate the other night, Green Bay should oblige them in scoring 80 or so points, and we should hopefully be able to get over this total quite comfortably. That's pretty much it on that. I don't want to go too much deeper into it. I'm sure that we all know and watch either of these teams play and know what pace that they're going to play at. All right. The last game that I want to talk about was the Washington State-Nebraska under. This is a game where I think that we're not giving the defense of both these teams enough respect. I think that Nebraska is a pretty bad team this year. I don't think that they're going to be any better in conference play than they have been so far this year. I don't understand why the line is flipped. Washington State is definitely an improved team. I think that the Pac-12 is improved this year, and I think that they are going to have to definitely come in, play some tight defense, and I think that when they allow 67 points a game, that's going to be something that I can get behind. I think that they come in. I think that they really put on a nice defensive performance. I think that they're coming off that Nebraska-Omaha game where they were embarrassed. And why were they embarrassed? Because they let Nebraska-Omaha hit 29 shots from the field. That's just unacceptable for the way that Washington State plays defense and the way that Kyle Smith coaches his teams. CJ Ellerby needs to have more shot attempts, and I think that you just got to pound the ball to him every time down the court if you have to, and allow him to pass into other offense. When it comes to Nebraska, I don't think that Cam Mack and Deshaun Burke are the type of scorers that can really consistently score against decent D1 teams, and I think that Washington State's a middle of the nation type team, and I think that they're a better team on defense. The one issue for Washington State is what the health is of Jalen Sheed. Jalen Sheed with a foot injury right now is an important piece. You know, he averages 6.5 points a game. He's on the floor for 25 minutes. I look for him to hopefully get back in the lineup. And if not, I look for Washington State to pick up the production without him.
All right, now you got the under at what?
143.
Okay, now up until this point, with the exception of the Kent State game, you guys can go to Maxwell Smart's Twitter at Maxwell Smart 420. You could see exactly what Max got the lines at for all of these games, and then, you know, decide whether or not the line is moved too much and whether or not it is worth taking. In terms of additions that Max has made on the show so far, it's only been the Kent State under 130.5 and Ohio State first half minus 9.5. Now we are going to start rocking with the additions for tonight's show. So what do you got, Max? What's first? You're on mute, bro. Nose whistle.
Yeah, let's go to the first game, okay? And the first game is going to be this Richmond-Wisconsin game. So we know about what Richmond's done offensively this year. We've seen it. Richmond is definitely uber talented. 1 through 5. The issue is what's going on with the big man situation. Obviously, we've seen with Nick Sherrard and the emergence of Blake Francis, there's a lot more perimeter-oriented offense, and we're seeing Grant Golden going out to the perimeter to score. Grant Golden, 6'10". Take your tall ass to the paint and wait for someone to pass you the ball in the low block. Simple as that. I think tonight he's definitely going to have to do that because he's going to be going up against Nate Roovers, Aleem Ford, and other guys for Wisconsin's front court. This is obviously going to be a real tough environment for Richmond to go into. Obviously, a neutral court environment. We've seen Richmond play a lot better at home with the home fan support, with the student support. And I think it's going to rely on Jacob Gilyard to get us home tonight. I think that Jacob Gilyard is one of the most exciting point guards in the A-10. I can't wait for him to be unleashed this year. And I think tonight they really show Wisconsin what they're made of. I'm taking Richmond +6. I think that Richmond has a good shot to win this game outright. And I look for them to be able to dominate the free throw line. I look for them to score from the three-point line. I look for them to definitely go bucket for bucket with Wisconsin at whatever tempo that they want to play.
I can get you plus 6.5 minus 105 at Heritage.
I like it.
All right. Richmond plus 6.5 minus 105 at Heritage. All right. Hit me with the next one.
All right. So the next one's going to be this Vanderbilt game. I'm a big fan of what Jerry Stackhouse is getting going there, and obviously with two standout pieces like Aaron Nesmith and Saban Lee coming off the bench, it's a hard game not to want to get on. When you see the type of tempo that this Vanderbilt team wants to play, I think that it does coincide with how Southeast Louisiana want to play. Southeast Louisiana definitely is a team in transition. We've seen the emergence of Tyron Brewer come out. Free throw shooting is a problem for him, but he's efficient from the field and he's efficient from the spots that he knows that he can score from. The question is what you're going to get from your backcourt. You know they're going to get some good front court production from Pape Diop, but the key for me is what Vaughn Julian's going to do, and I think that in this game going up against Vanderbilt, Scottie Pippen Jr., I think that he's going to have some problems. I think that Vanderbilt is going to be able to run hard on these guys. I think that they're going to be able to win quite easily. So I'm taking Vanderbilt, and I'll take whatever line that you can get it for me because I like them at anything under 20.
Okay. It's basically minus 19, minus 110 across the board, Max. So you're good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right. Vandy minus 19, minus 110. We'll go with Bet Online. All right, go ahead, buddy.
All right, so the next game that I want to go to this Nevada Bowling Green game again. I want to make an addition. I want to add the under. This is a championship game. I expect defense to be played in this game. I expect Nevada to be able to score with their main three pieces, and I expect them to be able to shut down Dylan Fry. I look for them, especially now without Justin Turner. I like this total a little more, and if I can get under 150 at better than minus 120, I'll make that an official pick right now.
Let me see what I could see. Hang on. You have a rotation number, Max?
Yeah, I do. It's 809, 810.
Okay. You want the under? I can get under 150 at minus 115 at Bet Online.
I'll take it.
Nevada under 150. Okay. All right, bud. Go ahead.
All right, so the next game we're going to go to the Texas Southern Montana game. So this is a play where I'm also looking to get on an under. This is a Montana team that's in transition, like a lot of teams when key scoring pieces graduate. And this is a Montana team that I don't see scoring 70 or 80 points consistently. And I think that Texas Southern, while they're not as dominant as they were last year, they do have different pieces that are trying to step in and take care of business. I like Tyreek Armstrong. He's coming off a 25-point game. That was a real good game that they played against Northern Kentucky, losing by 2. And I expect them to have a very dominant defensive game tonight. I think that you don't want to get into a run and gun game with Montana. You don't want to give a guy like Kendall Manuel the type of confidence that he can get when you get into that type of pace. I think that they have an advantage when it comes to rebounding, forcing turnovers. The issue for me with a side with Texas Southern, even though I am on them plus 10, is the bench production. That's my one issue with Texas Southern. But I do think that this game tonight goes under. I got under 146 earlier on today. And if I can get somewhere close to that, I'd be happy to give that out for a show pick. But I see that it's at 143.
That's the best I see at Pinnacle.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it.
If you're looking to go,
take it, Jay.
You're under 143.
Yeah, minus 117. I'll take it.
Okay, bud. What's next?
All right, so another game that I want to go to is this Indiana-Louisiana Tech game. So what have we seen from Indiana is Indiana definitely is an improved team. They're playing some good pressure defense. I think that tonight they're going up against probably one of their toughest opponents of the season so far. I would actually say that it is their toughest opponent so far. And I think that they're going to have a little more trouble scoring. I think that they're going to have a handful in the middle for freshman Trace Jackson Davis to go up against with Mubarak Mohammed. This Mubarak Mohammed guy, he's impressing me, worked his way into the starting lineup, really dominant, calls for the ball, efficient with his shot attempts, knows how to pass out of a double team, stays out of foul trouble. I'm impressed with this guy. He could be the next big piece for Louisiana Tech, and he's going to give Indiana and guys like Joey Brunk a headache tonight. Joey Brunk's also coming off a good offensive game for himself. He's stepping into this Indiana role, not playing 30 minutes a game yet. I expect him to by the end of the season, by tournament time, and it's going to be a real question about what the availability of a guy like Deron Davis is with his back injury. How Al Durham's going to play at the point. Is he going to be turnover prone? Is he going to be shot happy? But in this game, I think that there's going to be defense that's going to be played. I think that both these teams hold their opponents under 40% from the field, and I think that plays also tonight. We have seen Indiana go over in a lot of their games at home, but the quality opponent has changed. I think Louisiana Tech comes in. I think that this game goes under.
All right, so you're looking for Indiana under. What rotation number do you have on that, Max?
779, 780.
Okay, under, best I can do, 143.5 minus 109 at Pinnacle.
All right, I'll take it.
Okay, what do you got?
Okay, so the next game that I want to do, did we already do the Southern Nebraska-Omaha game?
No.
No. Okay, so that's the next game that I want to go to. Obviously, shout out to the Sports Keg Zone. Ant Larson loves his Omaha Mavs, even though he's a Creighton Blue Jay fan. But regardless, I'm looking at this game, and I'm looking at this game one way, and that is the under. With this Jaguar team, they're a team that they don't want to get into a high scoring game with you. They played Omaha, they've gone over there. They're coming off that overtime game where they put up 86 points. That's not the type of team that they are, in my opinion. I don't expect them to play like that again tonight. I think that they're going to have a letdown effect. I think that Omaha may wipe the floor with them. I am worried about taking Omaha from a side perspective just because of the Washington State outright winner that they had last game. But all you got to do with this Southern team is force Micah Bradford to beat you. He's coming off a 31-point game. I think that he comes back down to earth tonight. I think that Nebraska-Omaha is not going to be as efficient as we've seen in past years. I think that they shoot under 40% from the three-point range. I think that this game doesn't turn into a fouling situation. I think that both of them are able to really stop each other from getting into any kind of good any kind of mojo, I would say, offensively. Obviously, Nebraska-Omaha on paper is the way better team, but we've seen on paper that usually doesn't work. So this number, originally I was looking towards the over, but after digging deeper into it, I thought that this is a perfect spot to jump on an under. And if I can get under 142.5 or better, I would be willing to make an official play.
Actually, there is one outlier line. I see 141s at some spots, but Bet Online has 142.5, and the under is minus 105. You want that?
Yeah, I'll take that line.
Omaha on 142.5 minus 105. Okay, buddy. Where are we going next?
All right, my last addition is going to be the Auburn under versus New Mexico. I think that this New Mexico team, I've watched enough of them now. I've watched enough of Auburn. I don't think that Auburn wants to get into a run and gun game with them. I think that Auburn wants to use their front court to their advantage. I think that they want to use some of the shot clock, at least like 18 to 20 seconds of it. I don't think that they want to let New Mexico get into a mojo where they're going bucket for bucket. And when bucket for bucket I'm talking about is hitting threes. That's what New Mexico is going to end up doing against this Auburn defense if they give them the opportunity. I think it could be a battle of the big men, Carlton Bragg, Vance Jackson versus McLemore, Wiley, Purifoy for Auburn. But in the end, I think that Auburn and New Mexico best advantages cancel each other out, and I think that this game stays under. I think this is a high total. I would have it closer to 152, and at 157.5, it was a play that I forced myself to get on, even though my heart was telling me to take the over.
What rotation number you have?
829, 830.
Okay, you want the under 157.5 at minus 111 at Pinnacle.
Yes, please.
Okay, so that's all you got, right?
Yeah, that's all I got, but I'll just give you guys a quick heads up. So I took Troy, I took Austin P, and I took Campbell, but I got better lines than are out right now. Campbell only half a point, Austin P two points, and Troy 2 points. So I'm not going to make them official, but just to let you guys know, that's where I'm on as far as the side. So now I'm ready for questions, and that's about it.
Everybody's asking me for you to go in deep on the Austin P game.
All right, so let me just go to some notes because I wrote some notes about this game. Obviously with Austin P, you have a really nice piece in Terry Taylor, one of the most talented scoring pieces in the Sun Belt. But with this South Carolina State team, I don't see where the scoring's going to come from to get this game over. I don't think that Terry Taylor's scoring 50 points by himself. You know, he is coming off a really nice game. I think he had close to 40 points or something and some ridiculous field goal percentage. But at this point, this is a South Carolina State team that doesn't score 60 points a game. And even if Austin P gets to 90, we're still staying under. So the only way that I can look at it is to take the under, and I had to take Austin P because I don't take South Carolina State teams that first off rely on Damani Applewhite completely to be their offensive catalyst. They don't have the good shot selection. They don't have good ball movement. There's a ton of isolation ball that they play, and unless someone gets a wide open three, I'm not really trusting it. You know. I think that this South Carolina State team, listen, they'll be okay maybe against a couple of opponents in conference play. But as far as this game tonight against Austin P and the way that Austin P was able to turn it up offensively and defensively in the second half of their last game, I got to keep on riding that train.
Okay, somebody wants to know, I think it was Muhammad. Stanford plus 4.5 and the under. Any thoughts?
Well, I'm already on Stanford. On the under, I was actually looking the other way. I was looking at the over. But it's not a bet that I'll be laying one way or another, so I don't really have a feel for the under on it.
All right. Arkansas total at 135.5. Is that still a play on the under?
Shoot, now we're getting into the danger zone right now. Hold on, let me just pull up my number that I had on it. Yeah, that's really tight. Yeah, that's really tight. I got to stay off it at 135.
Do you have any concerns that the Auburn game is being played at the Barclays Center?
Well, I like it better for the under because we know what happens with these unfamiliar places. I think that Auburn's played at Barclays within the last year, I believe, but I don't think that New Mexico has. That's the way that I'm looking at this game. I think that obviously with these neutral courts, we do have to be aware of unders happening on them because of the different sight lines, because of the backgrounds behind the rims, which make a huge difference. And then the lighting also. We saw in the Drake Miami Ohio game and the Northeastern game that the lighting played a big factor, and we saw how poorly teams were shooting because of it.
Okay, somebody asked about the Lipscomb game, but you're on Lipscomb, right?
Yeah, I'm on Lipscomb.
Yeah, okay. Jay, can you ask Max about Washington State at Nebraska? Didn't you just give out a play on that game?
Yeah, I gave out a play on it. I also forgot that I have an official play on Washington State. So I think that this line flipped because of some I don't even know, some ridiculous reason, because I just don't think that Washington State's going to freaking allow themselves to be dominated like they were against Omaha and then come out and then lose against Nebraska. I think they're going to be ready for Nebraska. I think they beat Nebraska. That's why I took them -1.
Nick wants to know Butler over 121. Thoughts?
Over 121. That's what the line's at right now?
Yeah.
Shoot.
120. Oh, 124, he said. Wow, you're all over the place, Nick. Yeah, Butler over 124.
I don't know. I'd be looking at the under still. I had this game around 120. I think that with Butler, we've already talked about it. Like, it's gonna be a battle of whose pieces can do what against the other, and neither of these teams want to get into a run and gun game. It's just gonna be who's more efficient and who's playing better 3-point defense. So I also believe that there's a couple guys that I'm down with that are on the under in that game. One of them being the Master Jedi of unders. So
all right,
I ride
more
with
question.
The Master Jedi.
Jacksonville +4 against Campbell. Is there value here on the dog?
I'm on Campbell, so I think that definitely Jacksonville shown us, because we've watched a bunch of their games recently, that they can ball. But I think that tonight they're going up against Campbell, and I believe the game is at Gore Arena. So Campbell at home, that's a spot that I want to get on. I don't like laying the points with them, but it was a bet I already made, so I can't go the other way now.
All right, let's get to the part of the day I know you dread, giving out a play of the day on this show. What are we looking at today, Maxwell?
Yep, the play of the day is always a problem for me, and the play of the day that I'm going to take today is I'm going to take the over 137.5 in BYU UCLA. I'm going to plug my goddamn nose. I'm going to probably put my face into a pillow, but I hopefully am able to get off the schneid, break the losing streak, and get a play of the day winner with BYU UCLA over 137.5 at -108.
All right, boys. I'm going to just quickly run down the additions that Max has given out today, and then we will be gone for about a half an hour, and then Max, Anthony, Flash, and myself will be back for Live Line. So the additions that Max has made on the show: Kent State, Ohio State under 130.5. Ohio State first half -9.5. Richmond +6.5. Vanderbilt -19. Nevada under 150 -115. Montana under 143. Indiana under 143.5. Omaha under 142.5. Auburn under 157.5. And the play of the day, BYU over 137.5. All right, boys. We are out. We'll be back in about a half an hour. Nice job today, Maxwell Smart. I assume that Jimmy will be back here with you guys tomorrow. And that's it. We're out. Back after this.